Good morning. It is March 4th, 2022, and we have started a little side project. I am working on cleaning out my freezer a little bit, and during Thanksgiving, I bought a couple of the smaller turkeys, like the 7-8 pound turkeys, which I usually do when they're on sale, to can, and then my husband brought me this monster, 24 pounds, and so I finally got time to thaw him out and put him in the roaster. So I've been cooking him, and look at all that turkey broth in there. Isn't turkey broth the best thing ever? So I have been cooking him on 250 since last night, and it's about 10 in the morning. I'm fixing to go to work for a while, and I'm going to continue to let him cook, and then when I get home from work, I'm going to turn him off and get him ready for canning. So I'm going to be cutting him up, separating dark meat and light meat, and canning him up. I might even just freeze some of the turkey breast meat. So we'll bring you back later when we start getting into this turkey, but that's what we're up to today. That was a heavy bird at an awkward angle.
It went even higher than I thought it could.
Okay.
Oh, you're recording.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
These came in handy.
That was delicious, Mom.
Watch out.
Eat it all. Yes.
And there's all the yummy broth that we're going to be canning up. And we're going to be using it in the turkey that we can as well. Everybody's spinning around. So it is what it is. See how easy it's going to be to cut this guy up. Kind of still hot. Whoop. There's one wing off. Nope. Part of the breast is coming off. I've been cooking this turkey. It is around probably 5 o'clock. And I turned him off at about 3:30 p.m. today. And I put him on last night at about 8:30 p.m. And he cooked from 8:30 p.m. yesterday to 3 p.m. today at 200. So he's falling apart. He's nice and low and slow and tender. So I will not sit here and let you or make you watch me cut this whole thing up, but I'll bring you back in a few minutes when we get some more things accomplished on him. Okay, we have finished chopping up the turkey, and this is what we ended up with on the 24-pound turkey. This is the dark meat. This is the breast. And then back here is the carcass and the skin and fat. And I'm going to be putting that in my Instapot and getting some more broth off of that and starting to fill up jars with this meat. And we will come back in a little bit and see where we are with when the canning gets started. Okay, we got 2 canner loads done from this turkey so far. This 23 pounder. It's a lot different to do a 23 pound turkey from the store than it is to do one of our turkeys that we raise, because they're always above 50 pounds and we get tons and tons of meat off of them. But what we got for meat off this turkey ended up in this canner here, and I ended up with 4 quarts of meat, and I had 3 24-ounce jars that I did. So I did all the dark meat and some of the breast meat, and then I saved what wouldn't fit in this canner was just enough to make a good pot of turkey and rice for the kids for dinner last night. Easy peasy while we're in here doing a Friday night canning session on the back porch. Just throw the rice and everything in the rice cooker. I have my carrots and celery and onions, you know, all that stuff I have in cans, and I had some broth that I handed over to him and to my son. He is 16 and he went in there and made a pot of turkey and rice. So anyways, this canner filled all of our food as far as our meat, and I did do the breast in the broth, and some of the dark meat I just put water in. But in this canner here, I filled it with the double stack pints. There's actually, I didn't do the top level completely full last night because I was cooking. I had these 2 pressure cookers going with the bones and the scraps from the carcass, and I did these a couple of times, but when it was time to start that canner, I didn't have enough to completely fill it, so I just did what I had. So there is a full bottom, so there's 10 on the bottom and probably 3 or 4 on top with the broth. So I am going to be doing this one. We've got to can this up. Probably going to give all this broth to my neighbor that was helping me. I know some of this is we're going to redo, and this one I got all the broth out of it, and it does different. And these bones can be done. So I'm going to take the broth out of here, combine all the bones that have cooked down, and cook them one more time. So that's what we got going on. And then I'm going to unload this canner, and I'll show you the stuff when it comes out of the canner. Alright, so we got everything jarred up, washed off, lids taken off, and what was in the smaller canner was these 7 jars. So right here in the front, I had 3 of my 24-ounce jars. 2 of them are a Mason, 1 is an Atlas, and I think these jars were just jars that I bought that had spaghetti sauce in them or moonshine. My neighbor likes to buy these moonshines from the liquor store that come in those 24-ounce Mason jars. So I like to have those and reuse them because they are the 24-ounce, and I haven't been able to find any 24-ounce jars in a couple of years. So that's a good size for me. And so all 3 of these are dark meat. All 3 of these 24-ounce Mason jars are dark meat chicken. And then this one in the back, the regular mouth quart, it is dark meat as well. And then we have 3 of the jars of the breast meat, And that's what they were looking like. And I did, with the breasts specifically, I poured the broth back over them that the turkey made while it was cooking, so that it would have lots of flavor. Sometimes breast can be a little bit more bland. And I just put about half broth, half water in the dark meat, because it was going to have a lot of flavor in it already. So this is the broth that we've made so far, and we have been using, like I said, this is all the broth that was in the roaster. Also saved 2 cups of that broth that was in the roaster to make our dinner last night, which was basically like a chicken and rice, but it was with turkey. So that was all that. And this broth here we have rendered in our pressure cookers. My neighbor brought her pressure cooker over. I have a 6-quart, and so does she. And so she brought it over so that we could start cooking down those bones. So I got all of these plus one that didn't seal for a broth. I got this one right here, and then I got one more one more pressure canner load. Did all the bones one more time in the pressure canner for an hour to get a little bit more broth, because I'll be giving this to my neighbor. She cannot use her canner that she has, an All-American, on her glass stove. So she is going to be her pressure canner. I actually have an older one, or pressure cooker. I have a Cuisinart. It's kind of like an Instapot, but mine is before the technology of the Instapot, and hers is newer, and it actually has the yogurt and the canning function on it. So she's going to be taking this over to her house and trying out her pressure cooker on the canning function to can up her broth as her first little experimental run with doing that. So that is what we have from the 23-pound turkey. We got a dinner out of it last night. We got 7 jars of meat, and got 13 jars of broth, plus probably another gallon or so of broth from that one turkey. And we have a lot of room in our freezer now to put other stuff. So there you have it. The turkey is done. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.